Good Friday morning on the East Coast. I got the day off work, and what better thing to do in the morning of a holiday than get up a little bit early before everybody else wakes up and have a brew day. So I'm doing the Imperial Stout right now. I'm doing my first runnings. I'm being helped by this fellow over here. He's supervising. So yeah, doing the first runnings right now, so I'm gonna flip it around and show you.
About to start the Vorloff. Smells delish.
Is that right? He wants to tell you about the recipe. Go over the recipe real fast of what went into the mash tun. So it's going to be an Imperial Stout. It's an Expedition Stout clone of sorts from Bell's. So we got 15 pounds, 2 ounces of Maris Otter. Got a pound of roasted barley, 10 ounces of black patent malt, 10 ounces of flaked barley, 10 ounces of Crystal 80, 5 ounces of chocolate, and then a late addition of 2 pounds of DME to kick up that ABV. It's hopped with all Centennial, so we're doing a 2-hour boil on this, but it's a 2.5 ounce charge of Centennial at 45 minutes, 1.5 ounces at 30, and then 1 ounce at Flame Out, kind of a steep / whirlpool. And then using a Y Yeast 1728, the Scottish Ale. So I got a 2-liter starter of that going. On top of the starter not looking quite as robust as I'm used to, I went ahead and grabbed an extra packet of yeast as well. So I've got that 2-liter going of the Scottish, but then went and also grabbed a different strain. Maybe give it a little complexity, but give it a couple extra yeast cells in there. This is the 1450, Denny's favorite 50. I know it's renowned for really good mouthfeel and good kind of chocolatey, roasty quality. So I'm going to pitch that as well. Just help it along. It's also going to be the first time I'm using my wort aeration, so I got to figure out what kind of an oxygen charge I'm going to give it. But I got to jump back to these little critters. I've got Brew Baby in here. I've also got Gus over there. Excuse the dishes. So my house is crazy. Responsible for watching the kids while brewing. You know, we do what we have to do.
So nothing that most of you haven't ever seen before, but this is kind of my setup right now. I run all my water. I don't do a lot of water adjustments per se, but I run my water through like an RV filter, so it gets out any of the big nasties or anything. Pulls out some of the chlorine. But other than that, I don't mess with my water a whole lot unless I really just being particular. Mashed in, I mashed for about 1.5 hours just to make sure at about 150. So yeah, I'm doing my first runnings right now. Looking black as night and smelling amazing. So yeah, I've already heated up my sparge water. I'm going to do a batch sparge today. I heat my sparge water a little higher than I need it, and then dump it in this cooler. This is my HLT of sorts, and then I don't even run it straight off. I either use my trusty pitcher here or lift it up and just dump it right in. So it's simple, it's archaic, but it works, man. So I'm trying to do this pretty slow so I get some efficiency. This is supposed to be a big old beer, so we'll see how it turns out. Catch up with you. Ah! Wah! That's right. Boiling, fellas. Trying to get her up to a nice rolling boil. Gotta boil this thing down a couple gallons. It was a 2-hour boil, so I think we'll hit it. Loving this thing. Dialed it in today. Much more efficient than what I was doing. I was going a little too easy on her last time. Got her cranked up and dialed in. Beautiful. Cheers.
Brew Day's kind of evolved. As you can see, I've also got this going. Doing impromptu kind of Partigyles. First time I ever tried a Partigyle. So it's a darker base, pretty low on alcohol though. So honestly, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to lightly hop it, which is where this is going. It'll be my first hop edition and probably only hop edition at 60 minutes. It smells pretty good. They got a little Tetanang and Fuggles. So I'm gonna lightly hop it, maybe 25 IBUs or so, and then kind of figure out what to do with it. We'll see. Cheers. Oh, and as luck has it, propane tank ran out. So I'm about to have to run out there, so it prolongs the brew day a little bit more. But don't worry, have a homebrew, right?
Guess I can film this lovely hop edition. I'm getting some feedback from the round table. What we should be doing with this, so we'll see. Might get a little creative. Brett? Hey, Brett will be a breaded session stout. Ooh, maybe. Alright, so after running out of propane, had to run out and get some propane and do my impromptu Partigyle. Ran out and got some good stuff in the homebrew store at the same time. This thing's been boiling for just over an hour, so it's time to do our 45-minute edition of hops. This baby calls 2.5 ounces of Centennial. So we're going to give this a first hop edition. Woo! Whoa, you can't see it, but I can smell it. Sorry. That thing's about ready to go in the fermenter.
Alright, y'all, things got crazy. So I kind of stopped videoing for a while. The Imperial Stout's still going on outside. The Partigyle beer is actually done fermenting. It's chilled. I'm about to get it here in a bucket. Did a quick, man, this Partigyle idea was all over the place. So I took the second runnings, so the Partigyle-ish, of the Imperial Stout, and then ended up adding a full 2 pounds of light DME to kick up the alcohol a little bit, give it a little bit more body, because by the end of that sparge, it was getting a little, it's going to be a little thin. So I want to get a little bit more body in there, and then collaborate with the guys in the round table really quickly. Ran to the homebrew store when I ran out of propane on my way, and grabbed a couple things, grabbed some US-05, and also to get some ferment on it. But then also grab some brettanomyces. I've actually never used brettanomyces before. I've used a lot of Brett C and a lot of Brett B, and even the prior Brett Trois. But this is going to be interesting. So I added the 2 pounds of DME, and then I also added a ½ pound of lactose. And so I went a little off the rails there, so this is the general idea that we kind of threw together, and then I kind of built off of it a little. It's going to be a stout-ish, but a little bit of a milk stout. Somewhat light ABV. I'm going to check the gravity here in a minute, final gravity. So it's going to be a lighter ABV milk stout, done with US-05 for the sack, and then some brettanomyces. And then we're gonna put some, I'm gonna end up putting some cacao nibs and some sour cherries later on after it's got some age on it. So it's gonna be a chocolate sour cherry milk stout with a little bit of Brett in there. So the idea started flowing again with the guys on the round table. And then from there, I started thinking a little bit along the lines of the Wicked Weed Chocolate Cherry Dark Angel that I had a couple weeks ago, which was phenomenal. So who knows? Could be a disaster, could be awesome. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing poured. A lot of times when I put my beers in buckets, when they're not going to be in there for a long time, so that's where this one's starting out, and then I'll rack it over to a carboy. I love to use this strainer as a way just to catch any hot particles in anything. So we're going to give this a pour and try not to make a giant mess. So let's see how we go. along the way, gives it a little aeration. I know it risks a little bit of chance of infection doing it this way through the air and such, but I think it's probably pretty minimal. There we go, there's the sludge. Not too bad. Not a ton of hops in here. So there we go, get all that kind of drop in there. So that should be nice and kind of mixed up in there, and I'm going to take, after I go get it sanitized, I'm going to go take a refractometer reading, and we'll see what it came out. All right, so did the refractometer reading, came out to 11.2 bricks, which is 1045. So I'm loving that. It actually came up a little bit higher than I thought. You know, I've never used lactose before. I never used it. So y'all let me know if y'all have used it, how much that should affect the final gravity, because I know that's unfermentable. So I guess that'll affect the final gravity, because it won't drop quite as low. But if it affects the initial gravity, the starting gravity, y'all let me know how much that could affect it. It's right at about 5.25 gallons. And like I said, I used half a pound of lactose. So all that's left, throwing in the brettanomyces, USO5, and then this thing is on its way. Then I gotta go tend to the other one. Cheers. Well, we got her chilled. Looks like we've got about 5.5 in the kettle. So after hot particles and everything are separated out, we're closer to 5. Hoping this isn't gonna go everywhere. There we go. Not bad at all. Part of the reason I'm loving this Glickman with those legs, so I don't have to haul this kegel back inside and set it on the kitchen table anymore. And go straight into the bucket. So I'm going to do it in the bucket for an initial fermentation, the Imperial stout. Then I'll move that to a carboy as well before we move it into the barrel. Getting close to the end. You gotta use my